Right, welcome back, and in this video this week I'm going to be using my cheap Erbauer Screwfix sprayer that I bought. Now I bought this a few weeks ago and I did a very short video on it and it seems to do really well, generate quite a lot of interest, so I thought I'd carry on with that really. Now I know a lot of people are getting into spraying lately and they don't want to be spending ridiculous amounts of money on sprayers like we're seeing these guys on YouTube with the Graco sprayers, £1,100–1,200 and stuff like that. And they also do some cheaper ones out there. So this being a prime example, it's the Screwfix Erbauer. I'll put a little picture of it probably somewhere up here. And I bought this just before Christmas and they were doing a deal on it. It was £167. Now I bought this to replace a bigger Wagner sprayer that I had. I'd had it for a few years and the pump had gone and it just wasn't worth salvaging, so I got rid of it. But I wasn't sort of in any sort of position to go and spend another £1,200 on a big Graco sprayer. So I thought I'd take a punt on the Erbauer one from Screwfix, and I did give it a small test and it was okay, it worked well. I just used it literally across the road in a neighbour's house. I had a little room to decorate and I could have rolled the ceiling, you know, it was just a small ceiling, but I just thought I'd use this to make a short video. But I've got some bigger work this week. I've got maybe 4 or 5 ceilings that need painting, so I'm going to put this to the test this week. So if you're in the market for one of these cheaper sprayers, if you're thinking about getting into spraying but don't really invest too much money on the off, stick with me this week and we'll go through this together and we'll give it a really good test, and fingers crossed it's as good in a real setting as it was on that little ceiling over there. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this works. Oh dear. Right, morning everybody. It is just about 11:15 now, Sunday morning. I've got a little job to do throughout the week. I've got 2 jobs running this week. I'll take you to this one now. It's an empty house, so people have gone on a 10-day cruise, I think. I think they're back on the 23rd, so is that about, what's the day today? It might even be 13 days, so longer the better really in my eyes, because I'm gonna have to squeeze this job in as well as next week's job. So let's take you down there and fingers crossed this van starts. It's been doing some odd things. It's like I've got a full transit and when they've been turning the key it's been saying engine pending, and then when I turn the key nothing, and then a couple of times later it's been starting. I don't know nothing about vans, so it could be the starter motor, but I only had it replaced earlier this year, so well, that seems alright. I hate it when a van starts mucking about because I'm so out of my comfort zone. I feel absolutely helpless when things like that happen. I'm one of these people, I don't like relying on anyone for anything. I'm very, very efficient. You know, it's just who I am as a person really. I don't like anyone doing anything for me if I can do it myself. So really and truly, it's only like mechanics of a van which will catch me out. Anything else, probably apart from electrics. Probably electrics and mechanicals are the only things that I would have to call someone else to help me out in. And I've got a good mechanic, mobile mechanic, and I've got a good garage as well. So I've got people I trust, but I just hate helping people, asking people for help really. Probably to the detriment of myself. So this job is very local to me. I could literally walk there in 3 or 4 minutes, but yeah, I'm here already. So I could literally walk here, but obviously it's the stuff that you need to do it. So, right, anyway, I'll stop talking. I'll take you in a job and I'll show you what's got to be done. I'll show you about, I did all the downstairs a few months ago now, just freshened up all this downstairs, did a little bit of plastering. Let's see how that come out actually. Well, I know how it come out because I decorated it. Yeah, I had to plaster all these surrounds here because it had all roughness on it. But yeah, so anyway, no work down here, but this is all brand new carpet. So the first thing I've really got to do is get my carpet protector down here and up the stairs. So, but there's no work in the hallway as such. I decorated all this as well, just painted everything. And there's some videos of that of me spraying all this, sprayed all these banisters and things, sprayed all the doors. They come out nice with the spray. Look, that was all spray finished. But anyway, so the job I've got to do while these people are away are, and they've cleared out everything nicely for me, this room has got to be decorated. So it's just really decoration. There's no real sort of making good to do. There's a few bits and pieces, but so ceilings and walls in here. They're not having the ceilings plastered. They just literally want it freshened up. So everything's going in magnolia. I'm going to try and get this off without damaging the walls too much. I'll probably just tear that back and give it a bit of a soaking, because I don't want to paint over. They just wanted it paint over, but I can't just paint over that border. It'll make me feel ill. So I said, look, I'll do what I can to get it off. There's all old remnants of glue, and you know what these things are like. Once they start peeling off, you never really stick them back, because they end up curving off the wall, and there's no amount of glue is really going to get them back properly, like, you know, as if it was fresh again. Woodwork's really minimal, just some shallow skirting. Door there. Obviously, back of this door here, and this old brown door is going to go in a white. So I will be spraying these ceilings. So I'm probably just going to be preparing today. I'm probably going to get some sheeting down and some masking down. So if you do want to see the spraying, come back in a week for that, because I've got another ceiling in here which I'm going to spray. Again, it's just a ceiling. They want freshened up in here, no walls. So I'm going to be putting my frog tape all around the walls, with the tape and drape on the masking down to about 1.2. That's the depth I've got, about 1.2 metre tape and drape coming down. Obviously same all around these units. And then again, another room, which is just literally going to be spraying the ceiling. That's all they want it done in here, is just freshen the ceiling up. So again, on top of this border, I shall be putting the delicate frog tape with the tape and drape all coming down. Because this job is so local to me, it's one of them jobs I can come home in the afternoon, jump back in here, start knocking out somebody's painting. So I can basically earn two lots of money, you know, 2 jobs worth of money in one day really. I've got a dreaded tax bill to pay. I've just done my tax return, and as usual they want so much money by the 31st of July, and I'll be honest, I haven't got it. I just haven't got it. I'm a bit of an idiot when it comes to things like that. I just go through the year and I'll sort that out, and I'm always like, oh yeah, tomorrow, and I always get caught out with a tax man really. So this job is really just going to fund paying off some of that tax bill, so there's no benefit actually in my pocket for it. It's just I'm just going to have to work harder, because I've been an idiot throughout the year. Also, there is, let me turn you around again. Also, same again, small bathroom ceiling to be done, just all freshened up. I think I had some work, some switches moved and stuff, so again, that's just going to be tape all around the top, cover everything up, and use that sprayer. Let's take you back down, because as well as that, I've also got to do this little entrance porchway, which again is not a lot, but there's a fair bit of making good here. That is. So that's obviously brick down to board there. So that to do. Let's turn the light on, see if I can throw a bit more light on it. Just decorating this really, freshening this up. I mean, there's only so much you can do, like it's been patched in with paper, but it's just a colour change really. Same with a little ceiling there. And I've got to sort out this horrendous bit of making good, which is down this door frame. Again here, just, I don't know, I'll rake all that back, sand it all down. And also I've got a confession, I've done a bit of a bodge on last time I was here. Well, not a bodge, but I will own up to it, because I like things to be real. I don't want you to all think that I'm just a magnificent guy that never gets anything wrong, because I certainly do, like all of us, you know, we all make mistakes. And what happened was I fitted this door, I fitted that door. Was there any other doors on this one? No, it was 1, 2, 3. Did I do the toilet as well? I can't remember. No, I don't think I did the toilet. So there was 3 doors. I took the old door off and I just used the old door as a template for this door, not realising the original door was quite short. So I'm not going to get too close up to it, because I'm embarrassed if I'm honest. But what I did, I'll try and zoom in a bit. I pieced a bit on the bottom of that door to bring it down a bit. And I wasn't trying to do it as a bodge. I wasn't trying to disguise anything. I just thought, well, you know, not many people really look at the bottom of a door. It'll be all right. And it was all right. But then when I came around to look at this the other day, the lady said to me, we've noticed a black line down the bottom of the door. I've tried to clean it, but it looks like there's something, the bottom of the door's degrading. And they were sort of almost saying that the door was of bad quality. So of course I owned straight up. I said, no, it's nothing wrong with the door, it's me. I said, I basically cut it short and I pieced a bit on at the bottom, and I said, I'll take full responsibility, you know. So anyway, I'm going to change the door for them. They was fine about it, and they said, no, we'll pay for the door, but if you can just do it while you're here. And I said, look, no, I'll buy the door as well. This is totally me. I shouldn't have done it, but at the time, you know, it's just one of them things that you think, oh, that'll look all right. But it doesn't really, purely for the fact that it's a grained door, so you're never going to make it look like it isn't there. You know, if it was a flat door, you could probably really plane that and sand that down, and you'd lose it. But where the grains join in other grains, it stands out like a sore thumb. So a little bit of a bodge on my part, really. So if anyone wants a door with a little bit on the bottom of it, give us a message and I'll post it to you. Anyway, so let's get some plastic off. Get all this carpet sheeted and protected, because that is literally, the guy was fitting it there literally just after I left the job. So I want to protect this up. So let's get on and do that. Bought some of this carpet protector, just the not screw fix, Toolstation's own one. Is it Pinnacle? The Pinnacle make, and I think there's 50 metres on here. So you can never be too sure, can you? Brand new carpet and all that. And this stuff is horrible stuff to lay down, but once you get the knack, it's not so bad. So let's move you around in front of me, because usually I would do this the other way. That's it. I'd sort of kneel along it as I'm rolling it out. I just take it to there, that should be enough. You following me? Follow me, follow me. Now this is the worst bit when you're using this carpet protector. It's when you're joining on to another bit and they want to jump, stick to each other. So what I usually do is lift it up and slice it so it doesn't touch the other one at all. Like that, like just lift it off the floor a bit, start in the middle, get that one out, start in the middle again, come that way, nice and gently, that's it. I find if you do it from the ends, that end will fall and stick before you want it to, and then you're ripping it back off. So we're all sorted out there with the plastic, just got it down through sort of anywhere I'm potentially going to be walking. I'll obviously use dust sheets and other things as well, but just try and get as much of that carpet covered as you can, really. And then you've only got to really just put a bit of a dust sheet, or if you're watching in America, a drop cloth. Just lay it down at the edge, really. You haven't got to worry about covering all this. So, not that there'll be much paint dripping. It's not really that sort of job, really. Again, in here, stuff there. I've got some of that fleece on the roll, which is quite good. Good and absorbent. So, that's that. But let me just show you this. How my silly brain works. Now then, you won't believe I'm 56. This little bit over here, I'll point you out the window. Now that bit that you can see over there where the bollards is, that's a little bit of a cut through. You get a lot of people walking through there in the daytime. It's Sunday today, so it's it's fairly quiet. So what I've got is, I found some of these the other day. I'll show you this, hold on. It's tissue paper, but they look like tenors, right? You've guessed already, haven't you? You've guessed already. So what I'm going to do is, actually I don't know how many's on there. There might be a few on there. Could be good fun, this. Yeah, so I've got 40, oh yeah, I've got a few there. So what I'm going to do, obviously, I'm going to cut some of them out. And when I get here in the mornings or in the afternoons, whatever, actually it might be dark. I don't know if I can make this work. We'll see. But I shall put some near the bollards. Just one to lay one down. And then I'll leave a camera up here so it isn't obvious if anyone does pick one up and start looking around to see who's you know, doing a bit of a U-beam framed on them. I'll have my little camera set up here so they won't really see it, and then we'll go back to the footage, bit like the old wildlife stuff, bit like a little wildlife trap, and we'll see what we call pure David Attenborough style. Yeah, so something to look forward to. Now, if that isn't going to keep you coming back for more, I don't know what is. Watch out, Beatles about. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. I'll look forward to that if and when that happens. So, right, so that's down now. Let's start getting some of the tape and drape up on there. So this is quite an uncommon situation, really, where you're only painting the ceilings in a room. So this is not something you would have to do a lot, to be honest. But even if you was just rolling, you spend a few minutes doing this, you haven't got to worry about drips going onto the wall and stuff like that. So even if you're just rolling the ceiling, I think this is like just good practice to get into, really. Because then when you're cutting in, you haven't got to worry about the edge. You just, you know, go in with it. When you can even run a bit of caulk along the edge first. I might even do that in these rooms. I might just go around with a little bit of caulk first, because I've noticed there's a few gaps between the wall and the ceiling. And what I don't want to do is that when I peel the tape off after, I'm finding myself having to then go around with a brush trying to fill in little gaps or, you know, caulking stuff. So before I do it, I think I will just go around these rooms with a tiny little bead of caulk. I'll barely cut on the end of the nozzle off. I just want a little bit to go in and take out any little open areas, really. Now, I've never seen that in my lifetime. Look, a windowsill on a windowsill. What's they call that? The old double sill? All right, mate, what do you want done? You want the old double sill? Yeah, I can do that for you, no problem, mate. Look at that. That's a beauty. Why on earth would that have to be done? I couldn't resist it. I started just peeling away at this border. And it seems to be coming off pretty nice. So the main thing is it's not tearing any of this paper. It's leaving a little bit of its own stuff there, but I can just literally probably just a little spray bottle on that. I just liven it up and that'll come off. So that'll look nicer when it's done then. It's never going to look good painting over border. I used to do quite a lot of work in pubs years ago. I used to do a lot of work in pubs years ago, and sometimes just redecorating some of the accommodations in some of these pubs. It was awful. It was disgusting. And they were the sort of jobs where you would just paint over everything, just freshen it up, really. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That's sort of 2 or 3 hours spent on a Sunday, just sorting all this out, just masking everything up. So that's the bathroom all done now. Just got to put a bit of masking, bit of dust sheets down on the floor, just nothing major. So that's all masked up. Carpet's all protected. That room's just sort of in the middle of prep. This one's all masked up now. All done. Got all the tape and stuff on it. And then the same with this room. Just got sheets to chuck over the bed and just a little bit of sheeting along the carpet. Bit round the light, but basically it's ready for me to just come in now and finish them last bits off, and then they can all be sprayed then, and then the tape's off and it's done. So that's probably all I'm going to do today. So if you want to see how this comes out, come back to me in a week and I'll be doing some more. And I think I said earlier, the job I'm actually on in the daytime, that's probably going to have some spraying in it tomorrow, some decorating and spraying. So join me tomorrow for more of the same. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll see you soon.